back to an episode of 12-inch Figure Fanatic. Remember to subscribe. So today we're going to be opening up another figure from a company I've never gotten a figure from. This one's called TOPO, and this is their Walter White from Breaking Bad. Now, one dilemma you might have if you're wanting to buy a Walter White figure is there's some pretty iconic outfits of his. Obviously, the yellow hazmat jumpsuit for when he was cooking up his blue batch. But he also has, throughout the seasons, various modifications of a jacket, a button-up shirt underneath, pants, his signature kind of loafer shoes, and the hat, sometimes with glasses, sometimes with sunglasses. This figure has it all. It has like every outfit that you could imagine, minus the hazmat suit. You'd have to get that separately. But it takes care of all of the other casual wear outfits of his. So you can just put on whichever one you like and maybe even sell the rest and make some of that money back from the figure. Because I did pay about 500 bucks for this figure. One of the reasons I paid so much is because this is like the pre-release of the main release. You could pre-order it now for, I think, around 300. But if you want to get it early, it was an extra 200. So, well. Let's open this thing up and see what we got. We're also going to do a side-by-side with a custom that I've had for a while. So, Breaking Bad is my second favorite show to watch over and over again from time to time. Number one would be the X-Files, minus the re-release, well, not the re-release, but the reboot seasons later on that were just terrible, trying to resurrect the dead there. But Breaking Bad is just an excellent, cinematic, artistic show. Not so much Better Call Saul, although I did watch that too. So the box is pretty simple. Doesn't even have the name of the figure on it, just their logo. But they did put it on the inside, along with a nice photo of him. All right, so right off the bat, you got his blue shirt with black jacket, gray pants. He's got the black loafers on, not loafers, but I don't know, they're kind of moccasin type shoes. And the head sculpt that they have out, first of all, is, you can't even put it in because, I don't know, hopefully they have the attachment here. Let's look at the head sculpt first of all. So, pretty good job. Maybe they could have made the eyes a little bit glossier. What some custom head sculpt painters are starting to do is they'll use like a clear resin once they're done painting the eye, and shine that black light on it to harden the resin, and it gives it sort of this translucent effect so that it doesn't seem like the paint is sitting on the surface of the eyeball. And that's what gives it the realism, is that idea that there's some layering to the eyeball. But this is done very well otherwise. And the detail on it, I mean, even the little folds, wrinkles in the back of the head, the 5 o'clock shadow on the scalp. Very nice. Let's look at the other head options, because he does have 3. So here's the peg, and yeah, comes out pretty easily, it looks like. So this one is minus the goatee. This is just the mustache, and yeah, it looks like pretty much the same head sculpt. No, actually it's different. I'm looking at where they put the wrinkles, and they are different head sculpts. But both of them just as good. And then we've got the third head, and this is probably season 1. He hadn't shaved his head yet. Wasn't quite a badass. And I'm looking at the wrinkles again, and it looks like this is another different head sculpt. So 3 different head sculpts entirely. They didn't just take a base head sculpt and then sculpt in the facial hair and the hair on the head. All of them very good. Back to the body. So the hands have better than average detailing. You've got the wrinkles in the knuckles. You've got sort of the vein effect. They could have painted it better, but it looks great. And then you've even got the wedding band on there. The body has some light padding in the thigh and in the torso to give it some plumpness. Very appropriate. And the jacket does have an interior lining to it that's a different material than, it's more of a satin finish than the flat black on the outside. Very nice on the bend too, quality bend on the arms and legs. So let's see what else we have here. So we have his hat, and I was wondering how they do this because I really like, I think it's the Hot Toys Vince Corleone from Godfather. They made it out of plastic, very thin plastic, but then they covered it with felt, and it looked very nice. This is just a plastic sculpt, and it's pretty thick. Now, how does it rest on the head sculpts? So it secures nicely. Let's see on the other one. This one a little bit more loose, but still secure. And the size of it is appropriate as well. So very good on the hat as well. Could rest a little bit lower on the head. And it might have been nice if they put some lining on the inside just to protect the head sculpt a little bit so it doesn't scratch up or scuff the head sculpt. And then we have his bag, very nicely done. Does the zipper work? Yeah, the zipper even works. So the zipper on the side, zipper on the top. You've got these pouches on the outside, a pocket here, and then this is just glued together up here, not Velcro or anything. Very nice though. Underneath you've got the handgun. The slide does work. Magazine come out? Wow, magazine doesn't come out. Interesting. That would have been an easy thing to do. Doesn't cock back either. Trigger doesn't work. And it does look a little plasticky. They didn't make it look metallic like Hot Toys is good at doing, but nicely detailed. You got a cell phone here, and what they did is just took pretty much a rectangular piece of black plastic, and this entire front end is just a sticker. So they kind of took a shortcut there. I'm thinking of the cell phones that came with the X-Files figures, for instance, and they had sculpted buttons and the readout on the buttons as well. So this is kind of a shortcut. I don't like it. You have 2 additional hands. Looks like this one's kind of holding and this one's kind of pointing. A separate case, nicely preserved sunglasses and regular glasses. Glasses are always so delicate. A few times on figures I've broken the glasses. Less so when they do a metal wireframe. That always helps. These are made of, it looks like plastic, but they're very nice. Thin here, and then you got the lenses, a little cloudy, but nice. And then you even got the nose grips there. On the sunglasses, plastic, single sculpt, and not too much translucence to it, so you can't see the eyes through it, but that's okay. Got 2 additional shirts. One is sort of a dark blue, sort of micro plaid, and oh, very nice. So it's not Velcro, which tends to bulk out the shirt a little bit, and sometimes you see the Velcro peeling off on the sides here visually. This is actually magnetic. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Probably some other high quality figures, some of my military figures maybe, but very nicely done. This is glued together on the bottoms here, so you've got to take off the hand putting the shirt on. And then we've got a light green one. Same features. But nice material, very thin. Ah, look, we got here some of his famous blue junk. So it looks like it is a fine blue sand that they put in these tiny pouches. Very nice, realistic looking. Maybe it should be a little bit chunkier. I think when he bagged the stuff, it was more like rocks. And then we just have a wooden base. It says Heisenberg. Now, what I would have liked to have seen maybe is the ability to change this out. Maybe have Walter White as an option here. Maybe even have Breaking Bad as an option here. But it is a metal nameplate permanently affixed to a solid wood base, and it's got some weight to it. And then it's got a metallic stand. Oh boy, how does that even go in there? Yeah, just got to wedge it in there pretty nicely. So I will say that a silver base, especially matching the nameplate, looks nicer than if it was made out of black plastic like usually they do. And then that's it. So let me put this figure together, do a side-by-side with my custom, see which one turns out better, and give you my final thoughts. All right, so here he is all set up. I decided to do the goatee head sculpt because my favorite look is him with the sunglasses and the hat, especially considering that the base plate says Heisenberg. You've got to do the hat with the sunglasses. Otherwise, Walter White, you didn't have the other options to work with. Something to note, so the hands are magnetic, so this is fantastic. I recently did a review on another figure that had that feature, the Blade Runner figure by Artisan, and I love that figures are starting to do this because it's so much easier to work with than those pesky pegs. The other thing is, when I put the glasses down, I noticed that they are made of metal, so that's definitely an upgraded feature. I like that. Now, I looked at some reference photos, and some things you got to keep in mind here. One, this light green shirt is most known for him wearing his tighty whities with no pants on in the middle of the desert. So it doesn't quite go with this whole look. What I would rather them have done is a maroon shirt, because that's the most classic look for the Heisenberg with the glasses, the sunglasses, and the hat. Is you see a lot of reference photos of him with a maroon shirt on. The other thing is One outfit that wasn't included that he's known for in the earlier seasons, especially considering that we have the hair head sculpt, it would have been more appropriate to have the light colored moccasins, the tan ones, with khaki pants and a yellow shirt and a khaki jacket. That's the most typical look you see with the version of him with the hair. So including this head sculpt doesn't really make sense with the outfits available if you're looking at him throughout the entire seasons. Technical details, but important details nonetheless. Now, here's my custom. He's got those light colored shoes, he's got the khaki pants, but his upper body outfit is more later on in the show. But notice the difference in the head sculpts here. So this one definitely, good job, looks like him. This one, very fine looking details, very rustic on the paint job. He looks almost kind of sickly, like a guy that's been chain smoking for a few decades. Now in the show, he was battling cancer, so you might say that this is him during one of those bouts. That would make sense. And it's a very nice sculpt. However, I like the way they did it on this one. So I will probably be selling my old one on eBay, and definitely keeping this one. Scale of 1 to 10, outstanding figure overall. Besides those minute technical details, I can't take off too many points for those types of things. So I'm going to give this figure a 9.7. Yeah, that's fair. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.